Hi friends, it's Suzanne here. Thanks for joining me for another Fabricate Friday video. So I bought the watercolor pencils and I was storing them like this, sort of having them open so I can select the colors that I wanted, and I needed to find another solution. Now, this is what I came up with, and I thought I would share it with you in case you have watercolor pencils that you liked to use. It is like an artist wrap. There's a little magnet in here to open, and it stores all of my pencils and even my blender pen. And in underneath I have some pieces of watercolor paper that I like to scribble on and pick up the color. So there is 13, I believe, of the watercolor pencils, so they don't divide evenly, but that's okay. So this is, like I said, what I actually came up with, and I thought that maybe you may be interested in something like that. I do like to be able to see what I need and sort of just pull it out. And also, once the pencils start getting used, they're going to go shorter and shorter and shorter. So if I wanted to still be able to either grab from this side, where I can just grab and pull, and that's usually how I store it, like sideways like this, I can just trim down this piece of paper until, you know, it gets to the little boxes. So that is what I'm going to share with you today. Thought you'd be interested in case you like to organize your stash. Like I said, you can either lay it on the ground like that, or on your work surface like that, and grab as you need, or you can stand it up because it's three-sided and it's pretty easy to grab a pencil like that. So we're going to work on the cover first. It is 8.5 by 6.5, and on the long side we're going to score at 1/2, 2, 3, 4.5, 6, and 7.5. All right, so that's our cover. I'm going to put that aside. And then what you're going to need to make the little inside boxes is 3 pieces of 4 3/8 by 4 1/8. And I'm going to start on the long side, and I'm going to score the long side at 3/8 of an inch. So that is the 4 3/8 side. I'm going to do it to all of them while I'm here. It's just easier to do it all at once. And then we're going to flip it to the long side, and we're going to score at 3/8, 3/4, 2 1/4, and 2 5/8. And we're going to do that for all of them. So the 4 1/8 side, 4 1/8 side, we're scoring at 3/8, 3/4, 2 1/4, 2 5/8. 3/8, 3/4, 2 1/4, and 2 5/8. Okay, there's an additional 3 pieces of cardstock that are 4 by 1.5. Okay, I'll show you how those go together. They're just support pieces. So I'm folding up my cover right now. And I decided to use, this is basic gray for this one. I'm choosing a neutral because I wanted to make sure that you could see it. I prefer the black one, but in case I put away my pencil and it's not quite dry yet, I'm not going to see the little mess that it may leave behind. But for video purposes, I thought maybe, I mean, you could do it whatever color you wanted. If you like blues or pinks, you can go ahead and do it that way. You could put pattern paper on this. I wanted to just use washi tape. Because I have hordes of it. Who has hordes of washi tape? I suggest going with that color. Okay. Now for the little bit of cutting. We're going to, okay, so this is one of the little boxes. There's a little square here, and we are going to wedge out. And then I'm not too worried about these little tabs, so I'm just going to cut up. And I'm going to do that for all of them. My scissors are sticky because I use tear and tape on this project, and I don't tear it, I cut it, and it makes my scissors sticky. Okay, that's pretty much all of the wastage. So here's my tear and tape. I'm going to do 3 at once, kids. So just a little bit of the tear and tape on that edge. Okay, and then so if there's tear and tape on this side, I'm going to flip it around, and on this little tab here is where I'm going to put the other piece of tear and tape. Taking off the backing here on all of the pieces. Just for, this is like time saving, do everything all at once. So to put this together, I'm going to fold the piece that has the sticky on it just over like that, and then I'm going to fold this piece over and press it down. And then if you wanted to absolutely make sure it's square, you can go the other direction. All right, so I'll do that 2 more times. Folding it down, folding down here so that you have the score line, and there you go. And making sure that it's square. And one last time, fold it down, fold that down, and there you go. Okay, so on this part, on all 3 of these little guys, you're going to remove that tear and tape. This really came together quite quickly once I figured out what I wanted to do with it. I was thinking and thinking and thinking. I love the artist wraps, so that's kind of where the inspiration came from, you know, those material ones. But I also like stability too, so that's where they came from. All right, so tabs go inside. The one without the adhesive goes next, and then there you go. So tabs in, one without adhesive first, the one with adhesive at the end. Oops, fumble fingers today, too much coffee. Here we go, and voila. So this is going to be our flap with the magnet, and so you can see where they will all fit along. Okay, so we kind of skip one, so there's 3 pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use glue. And I don't normally use glue, but in this case, I wanted a little bit of wiggle room. Get those corners, but make sure that you're not going to gloop. Okay. And the reason why, so I'm going to start on this end. I'm going to put the paper on the ground or on my flat surface, and then I'm going to sort of fold up that edge, push it right to the ground, right to your flat edge there, and give it a second to hold. All right, I should have put that seam down, hey? So find where your seam is and make sure that your seam is at the back, or is the seam that you put the glue on. Now if I did this with dry adhesive, which you totally can, there's no rule against it, but I wanted that little wiggle room, whoopsies, so that I could push it right on a flat surface so that in case you wanted to stand it up, there is going to be some stability there. And last one, where's the seam? I did this one so good. I find that Tombow glue too doesn't really react with water. So if you actually put, you know, your pencils away wet, it's not going to, you know, disintegrate. Okay, so you can see, boop, boop, how these are kind of flimsy, right? So that's where these pieces come in. And before I adhere them, I'm going to put my washi tape on. So I got this washi tape from Paper Pumpkin, the one that Sarah designed. Okay, so if you wanted to, you can just fold it over just like that. So those little pieces are done. Or you can cut them off. I find that they don't peel up on you if you fold them over. And then just a little bit of Tombow glue for stability and wiggle room. So I'm going to plunk this guy right on top here and just make sure that it's all in place. If there is any glue sticking out, you can wipe it off. Do not keep that glue there. It just makes everything sticky. And this is probably, if you wanted to, you could decorate it with pattern paper or whatnot. Since it's the inside of the box, I'm not too concerned about it. And so that is a little bit sturdier. And the reason why I wanted it sturdy is because it folds up. So the small lip here, the 1/2 inch lip, folds over like that. And then this one folds over like that. You can see those 3 little boxes. And then, like I said, if I wanted to, I can trim it down as my pencils get used. So that's, I'm going to, I think what I'll do is I'll put the magnet closer here. So to do a magnet, these magnets, they're, oh, I forget the name, some kind of diminium magnet. I just used a glue dot. So I get, these are like so small, they're like, I don't know, like a millimeter maybe, and they are pretty strong dudes. and I get them from Spider Magnets. I've said this before in other videos. You can find them on eBay. They come from the UK, I believe. Spider Magnets. And I wasn't too worried about having that magnet show because, you know, there it is. And then I thought, just to make sure, like, it's a little bit of more stability, actually, if you put a little bit of washi tape right over that lip. And this is where I'm going to cut it. And this is why my scissors get sticky. The blender pen is quite tight in there, and I can take my little swatches. And so what I did was I just colored them in, and if I want to use them as like actual paint, I'll use a paintbrush and I'll wipe it in there and then paint with it. So these change quite often when they get used up, but it is nice to have that all together. Snug that inside, and there you go. So that's the project for today. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will catch you again next time. Bye. Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. On screen are 2 more videos for inspiration. Click on the maple leaf to visit my website, or click on me to subscribe to my channel. Thanks again for watching.